Alright, now I love Stan Lee as much as the next guy, but let's not act like every single project he worked on was game-changing. But again, I do absolutely love Stan Lee, so today we're looking at a film from 2006, Stan Lee's Lightspeed. A Sci-Fi Channel superhero TV film with Stan the Man's name in the title. No bullshit. This isn't Lightspeed, this is Stan Lee's Lightspeed, motherfucker. I researched and I swear to I couldn't find close to anything on this. No comment from him, no Reddit comments talking about how this came to be, or even some behind the scenes stuff. Just a few reviews that talk about this film and if they think it's good or not, and it's not. Every time. As far as I know, Stan is credited as an executive producer, so to speak to his involvement is just speculation at this point until the end of this video. I think that all he did was create the basic idea of the character and then whoever the f went on to make this happen. I know he was not a part of the post-production process because of some of the shit we'll get into soon. Okay, now I'm gonna try my best to recount the story and then give my 2 centaroonies on it. Also, apologies that my copy of this film looks like shit. So anyways, let's get into it. The movie opens up with some schmuck walking through a tunnel towards what looks like a man under a towel. The guy's holding a cup of water and he seems to try and offer it to the fucking gremlin in a blanket, but it knocks it out of his hand. What is this thing? It appears to be a shellless Ninja Turtle, or the Creeper from the Jeepers Creepers films. Side note, do not support those movies. The original creator is a convicted child rapist. He doesn't have the film rights anymore, but he definitely still profits off of it somehow. Anyways, back to this movie. So I guess the Snake Man thing killed the water cup guy because we don't see him. Title card. And what feels like 3 years worth of early 2000s opening credits. It feels like Spider-Man sorta. Ooh, Stan Lee. Okay, into the meat and potatoes. Well, the movie opens up on this building during the day, but then it does a transition to night immediately and chaos starts breaking out. Why didn't we just open on the building at night? Shut the f up. Some black SUVs come in and some special ops guys come in and they exchange dialogue.
No one has entered or exited.
Except for my guys.
We haven't seen anyone, sir.
You're not supposed to.
Cool, I guess. So these guys in black are good guys, I guess. And then we see the Super Mario movie Goomba talking to a guy who is arming a bomb. The Black Ops guys enter the building, killing the laziest terrorists I've ever seen in my life. They didn't even lock the fucking doors. Snake Man says, "Thank you, brother," to the bomb guy. And I'm not sure if this is his real brother or like, "Hey, brother." But let's go with the latter for now. We see a bunch of dead bodies and the special ops team going through the building. They start exchanging fire with the bad guys. And it was at this point in the movie my girlfriend checked out because the effects for the bullets hitting are over the top. Despite gunshots going off, one of the terrorists is still nonchalantly guarding this passageway, so we get the second case of someone sneaking up behind one and taking him out. We then get this weird bit. So these bad guys split up and we get a slow-mo hero shot of them walking for some reason, and immediately after they get gunned down. Anyways, special ops guy without a mask walks into the Snake Man and he says hello. They fight and we know that this guy is going to be the main character because he's the only one not wearing a mask. Snake Man says this guy is responsible for someone's death. I can't understand what the he's saying. So Snake Eye releases him and I guess he's out of breath because he's definitely not dead, but he just takes a lay down. Snake Man then walks the out of the building and nobody is watching the front or tries stopping him. He gets into the car and asks the driver where someone is, but before the guy gets the chance to answer, he slams his head on the steering wheel. He then says,
"We'll come for you, brother."
"Who the f is this guy's brother?" Then setting off the explosives that destroy the building. I present to you made for TV effects from 2006. Main character is crushed under the building, and then we cut to 4 years earlier. We see a scientist who is working with snakes now. He's trying to do some shit with snake skin that can heal burn victims, so he burns himself with a lighter and applies some of his magic snake skin on his arm. It doesn't work, so he gives himself third-degree burns for nothing. Oh, and this guy's name is Eddie. We learn that the snake science or whatever gives enhanced strength and also the science because they're losing funding. The special ops agent main character who was crushed under the building is here too, so they're friends. We see Eddie visiting his sister in the hospital who appears to have a bunch of burns. A nurse gives us context. She says what I just said by calling her the sister. Eddie is this snake guy in the future and this other guy here is her husband. Back to it. This guy who's on the phone with the main character. The guy tells our main character Snake Man's operation is shutting down, but hold up. Girlfriend mentioned during this part that this guy's outfit makes no sense. Is he wearing a robe to relax at home? Then why the f is he wearing a dress shirt underneath? And if he's getting ready for work, why the f is he wearing a robe on top? Why is it both? Why not one or the other? Anyways, main character tells Snake Guy that his place is shutting down and he's upset because he can't save his sister no more. And then we see Snake Guy sensually talking to some snake skin. Then he knocks over a vial, which causes the whole lab to go up in flames. He's on fire now and it's playing pig squeal effects. He grafts the snake skin or whatever to himself and it works now, but corrupts his DNA or some shit. But f that. Back to the present. Main character is alive.
A survivor! Over here!
What the fuck are these choices, man? He's rushed to the hospital and is accompanied by his special ops female friend. After everything, the doctor says that they implanted titanium rods into his legs to fix him, and they used highly experimental, dangerous radiation procedures on him to save him. Why the fuck did they use experimental procedures on someone not in a testing environment? Just some guy. I have no fucking idea. Okay, so later on we see Snake Man arrive at the hospital, and there's so much little over editing. It's like one of those Indian soap operas, you know? I'll try to point it out more later. Why did they cut between this guy hopping out and opening the door? There's no reason for it. Perhaps because it's a TV movie, you gotta fit a bunch of stuff in really quickly, so, you know, saves like little time.
Any small time make big time.
And what are you gonna do with all this time?
Watch Lightspeed.
Evil Snake Man is evil, so we watch him f with this woman before killing her, and I need you to see this whole exchange.
You don't have to be afraid. You're too beautiful to be afraid. I like the way you taste. Don't forget that. So I'm not going to forget you.
Snake Eyes then gets an eyeful of our main character in the hospital bed. He ups the radiation or something to kill him, leaves, and takes some guy. Pretty sure that it's the husband of his sister. Main character is able to save himself after they leave, so nice job, bad guy. Good guy's still alive. We see him now referring to another fucking guy as brother. He then Green Goblins himself. Cut back to main character who is in the hospital, and the doctor says despite getting hit with a ton of radiation, he's gonna be okay and didn't get cancer. Special ops lady then kisses main character so we know they're together. This is the point in the movie that I learned that the Snake Man's name is Python. We will call him that from now on. He says to the lady that Eddie is Python. He then explains why, but she says,
I don't get the connection.
and then just like in Spider-Man, we get a montage, but instead of him making the suit, we see him going through physical therapy. Cut to main character going to his house. Oh, and this lady is here too.
Hi.
This is a witness protection house or something. Later we see him outside waving at joggers.
Pal, your game is history.
A bug then hassles him and he starts super speeding. We then see him go. Oh my fucking god.
Off him or whatever was going on in the DCEU. Not with trails of lightning like on the TV show, but him running normally super fast. Running normally super fast.
I suppose this is what I wanted. He's moving fucking fast, in some shots at least, but he has the form of a light jogger.
The hell did I just do?
I don't know, dog.
Let's see how fast I really am.
Okay. He then runs back to the house and has a heart attack. He wakes in the hospital with burns on his skin from running so fast, and the doc gives him some blue juice that will stop him from passing out. Cut to evil villain mansion. They talk about how they're ready to make a giant bomb, and then Python shoots a guy in the head because he's evil.
I have complete faith in you, brother.
Is he your fucking brother or not?
Beanie. Marnie.
Is he gonna eat that rabbit? Bro is not an actual snake. He does not need to be doing this. Okay, cut back to the main character. He super speeds in a circle in his hospital room, gets winded and stops. So he heads outside, downs some Gatorade, and speeds his way to a sporting goods store. He asks the guy there for a suit that is
Really aerodynamic. Be able to handle serious wind speed. So I need some gear that can take some serious speed.
The guy then answers back in what I thought was sarcasm, but this is 100% serious.
My man, I think I have what you're looking for. It's a suit. And it's in the back. And I'm gonna go get it.
He surprisingly does come back, and we see the suit. They must be high. This guy is fucking high, I'm sure of it.
You can never get too high.
We then see the main character testing out his super suit. And now this is how I fucking know Stan Lee wasn't involved in the post-production, because this shit looks like and he Well, maybe he was involved with this. Anyways, cut to a corner store robbery. The cops show up, so the robbers are immediately ready to execute the people for some odd fucking reason. But main character's here, so don't worry. He zips in and takes their guns, empties their bullets out, and beats them up. The cops show up and tell Superhero to let the hostages go because they're stupid. One of the robbers has made his way up to the roof now, so Super makes his way up there too. And just like in Spider-Man, stands in front of them as the bad guy walks backward off of something, falling to their death. He only fell a little, but I'm gonna consider him as dead. Cut to a newspaper. Spider-Man, hero or menace? No, I mean Lightspeed, hero or menace? Story written presumably by K. Kenny Kameson. Well, our boy's got his name now. Lightspeed. Cut to some science place and we're looking at a machine and this lady asked the question we're all thinking.
What does it do?
Blah blah, science bullshit, something to do with temperature and weather, and can create heat with a material that the bad guys were talking about during their meeting. So it's a fucking bomb. It's a bomb. Speak of the devil, bad guys are here. We then see the main character walk into the Special Ops HQ and they get an alert and they go off onto a mission. But the boss says our boy can't come and needs to rest. Cut back to the scientists leaving the office, still wearing their lab coats. Python and his goons roll up as we see Lightspeed shooting up some Baja Blast Mountain Dew. The science security guards cop some bullets. Lightspeed rushes over and we see the bad guys planting some bombs as Lightspeed arrives. Python and this guy, who's actually his sister's husband, I think, come into this room to look at the machine thing. Some of their goons come in and haul it off as Python senses Lightspeed. Special Ops are here, baby. Mask up and roll out. Python then sneaks up on Lightspeed, and it was at this point, halfway through the film, is where I learned the main character's name the first time watching it. I was zoned out the first viewing, and I was drunk during the second. But
I took care of you in the hospital, Daniel.
His name is Daniel. Python can tell it's Daniel because he can smell him or something. And Daniel's like, it's me. So Python blames Lightspeed for the science shit getting canned years ago, which led to his sister dying. And it was at this point in the movie that the film tried talking to me personally.
It's not too late to stop this, Ed.
Motherfucker, I made it this far. I'm finishing this thing. So anyways, the bad guys and the special ops guys start blasting and the bad guys keep dying. A grenade is thrown and we watch Lightspeed and Python fight more and the gun guys shoot more. Eventually Python leaves and Lightspeed then zips out of the building, but Python then blows up this building too. A dish is gonna smash his female friend, so he saves her, then removes his mask to taste the rainbow a little, and surprisingly, the lady can recognize him. Cut to the special ops room. Later on, this ponytail guy who has been in the movie the whole time, just being a nice guy, says that their team must have a mole because the bad guys knew they were coming or something. They also say that the lady character caught one of the bad guys, so they can interrogate him. But cut to the bad guy place. Python has another brother, then chokes out one of his henchmen while asking him questions, but tells him to get out before he has any chance to answer. But now the interrogation scene is happening. They inject the bad guy with some information spilling medicine, and before he gets the chance to spill his guts, Python remotely kills him using a computer.
What the hell just happened?
He's dead.
We then see Python killing the guy who shut down his lab years ago by setting him on fire, and the line delivery is hilarious.
You didn't give him a chance to understand. I didn't want him to understand. I just wanted him to die.
They then look at some pictures of Daniel and his lady friends so they know who to target. Cut to Daniel talking to the lady. I still don't know her name. And he explains how he got his powers. He can move at
Lightspeed.
Okay, lady, this guy is not fucking moving at light speed. Anyways, later we see the guy get kidnapped. Uh-oh. The one likable person in this movie. We then see him get interrogated and he's willing to take his info to the grave. Holy shit, this guy should be the superhero. But eventually he does break and gives up the info after Python threatens his family, and his head is then crushed in a vice. His body is later left at the special ops place and he's alive? What? But he dies. So Daniel's safe house is now a target, he says, and Python is there at the house now and he kidnaps the lady. Later, Daniel gets a message that the safe house is being compromised and he suits up and zips off as we get the best part of the movie. And by best part of the movie, I mean it's like the part that feels the most like a movie. Python makes Beth. I know her name now. Like, it's Beth. It's been Beth this whole time, but this is where I understood it. He makes her play the piano as Lightspeed zooms in to help and takes down some of the bad guys. But once he arrives, he immediately gives up his advantage and calls out to Python. He comes out with Beth and instead of killing her, he throws her to the ground. So Lightspeed comes in and then he gets winded and is on the ground too. Python then grabs Beth and heads into a helicopter with her, and she's just sitting there, you know, seemingly unbothered by all of this. Ooh, I get to ride in a helicopter. Cut to Daniel at the hospital again. He talks to the doctor about Jack and shit. Then he goes to ask the special ops boss if he can join the squad again, and the boss says, "Fuck No. He also says that Beth was the mole, but we know that's bullshit because we then see her tied up. We also see Python explaining his plan. They're going to blow up Washington, D.C. or something, and they're going to profit off of it by using stocks or some bullshit. He then pulls off some of his skin, and we see him applying new skin to himself a little later on before gassing himself up again with some crazy sound effects. Cut to the special ops guy learning where Beth is, so they decide it's time to make a move. At this point in the movie, we then see Lightspeed's hairline, and bro is balding. What the f? Anyways, we then see him down a blue lagoon and sneak out wearing a doctor's coat with his costume completely f***ing visible underneath. But nobody is watching because who gives a f***, honestly. Cut to the White House. Bad guys are here setting up the bomb machine or whatever. We then see Lightspeed zoom into the final battle arena, and he's face to face with the husband guy and Python. At this moment, the only thing I can think is, goddamn, this costume is ass. Python then leads him to go talk to Beth, but it's actually not Beth. It's this guy's corpse in a wig. Enraged, Lightspeed then starts a slow fight with Python and loses because everyone knows that snake powers perfectly counter super speed. The special ops people then arrive and they start shooting, which alerts Python to their arrival, so he tells Lightspeed where the bomb is. He gives them an ultimatum, kind of like the Green Goblin in Spider-Man 1. Save the girl or save a bunch of civilians. Lightspeed then speeds off to defuse the bomb. And then we get this.
Shut up! Get up, you bitch! Shut up! Shut up, bitch!
So he starts physically abusing her and is about to blast her head off until the husband steps in, having lost his humanity already. Python then kills the husband character by turning his head into mashed potatoes. Lightspeed during this time does make it and defuses the bomb before it goes off, and Python starts wailing.
Tom, why did you do this to me? Why did you do this to me? I trust people and they hurt me. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't hurt anyone! Why did they do this to me?
He wails so much that the boss of the special ops team can hear him and decides to go in because the entire team is dead. Python is still freaking out, by the way, and continues to for another minute or so straight. He would keep going, but Lightspeed then shows up to rescue Beth, but it's revealed that the boss was actually evil and working with Python? Holy shit.
What a twist!
Twists. But Python then shoots him. Lightspeed then takes Beth outside and begins to have an asthma attack, so Python starts beating up Beth again. He then takes Daniel inside while giving him the most juvenile threats I've ever heard.
I'm gonna kill you. First, I'm gonna cut your skin off your body. Then I'm gonna take a blowtorch. Then I'm gonna cut off your legs and make you run on the steps.
Beth follows and is immediately put to the side. Daniel and Python then scrap a bit, and Daniel stabs him with some orange Fanta, which makes him squeal like a pig again. And then he jumps out a window. The Fanta also managed to somehow make him catch on fire, which is, I don't know, what the f anymore? Like, what the f is anything, dude? Whatever. Daniel then starts having a seizure or a heart attack, but Beth comes to his rescue and gives him his shot of Capri Sun. Not even 30 seconds later, we get Daniel and Beth walking together through a park with a dog, then transitioning to them at a picnic. They talk for not even a minute.
I love you.
I love you too.
Lightspeed. My Lightspeed.
Okay, the end. Before we get into this shit, the director is Don E. Fauntleroy, and he hasn't made any other films I've heard of, but in 2006, the same year as this movie, he directed and released a Steven Seagal film.
Steven Seagal!
You got a problem with me? I'm your worst nightmare.
Same year. Bro is working fucking hard. Also, the main actor is Jason Connery, the son of Sean Connery. James fucking Bond's kid is Lightspeed. My god. Anyways, I feel like I could complain about this movie a lot, but that would just be punching down, so I won't do that. I want to highlight something good about this movie, I think. The makeup and special effects on Python, even if it's just his head for most of it, is great. The credits say that they were done by Ross Talent and Jeff Farley, and if this is the same ones I found, then I'm glad they had worked on or will go on to work on some better films. Jeff having worked on Demolition Man and The Blob, and Ross going on to work on 300 and Midnight Meat Train. The premise also of a speedster limited by his metabolism needing drugs to continue going on is a cool premise as well, I think. And that is the last good thing you will hear me say about this film. Now, let's get into Stan Lee's involvement with this film. I said at the beginning I didn't know it, but I can make an assumption that it's more than just creating the character now now after learning this. In the credits, I noticed this logo, Stanley's Pow Entertainment. I took a peek into it, and boy did it make me sad. I'm going to give a condensed version on it, but honestly, it could be its own entire video. So again, this is the super condensed version of it. So Stanley made this company, Pow Entertainment, to make original superhero movies and TV shows, eventually creating the Stanley Presents banner that goes on each project. After some time, Stanley sold Pow Entertainment, and through some business, it ended up in the hands of a Chinese or Hong Kong company. One of them, I'm not super sure. I skimmed the article. They continued to use Stan's name and likeness on projects against his wishes, and in 2017, he filed a $1 billion lawsuit for stealing his name and likeness. But 1 year later, he dropped the lawsuit just 4 months prior to his death. The whole time, one of the men he started the company with, Gil Champion, was still a part of Pow, holding on the role of president. So from when he started until after he departed, they were using his name and likeness to promote films that he wasn't involved in. Now, after Stan's passing, his estate is still trying to distance his name from Pow, who is still using his name, and Disney was even part of the story, co-producing some projects with them prior to Stan's death. And according to Wikipedia, the latest Pow Entertainment piece is a show called Superhero Kindergarten starring Arnold Schwarzenegger that has been running since 2021. I will not fact check this. Do not question me. I'm taking all of this at face value. For now, leave a comment if you know anything. But wow, Stanley really had it hard during the final years of his life. And it's hard to think that the man who brought so many people like me joy was treated so poorly in the end. Perhaps in the future, we can look at some projects from Pow, and specifically, I'm eyeing down Stripperella. I want to cover that. But anyways, take some time to join the Discord. We really need more people. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Count on me, it's all on me, I can do shit lightly. Whole life, you count me